Well, welcome to CHC Connections. I'm Keith O'Hoddle, CEO of CHC Community Health Center of Summit County. And today is the second of our CHC Connections podcast, where we bring information related to the important work that CHC is doing in changing the lives of those who come to us seeking hope and recovery. And today I'm very excited to introduce Nichole Rodkey. She is the Moms Coordinator. So welcome, Nikki. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks. It's such an honor to be here.
I'm just so pleased with what you've been doing. So I wonder if you might just start out by telling us a little bit about yourself and some about your professional path as well.
So I'm a person in long-term recovery. On July 17th, I'll have 5 years.
Awesome.
I am a graduate of the Turning Point program. A lot of what our ladies are going through, I've been through. I've had multiple CSB cases in Portage County and Summit County. I've been in the correctional facilities, so I've lost permanent custody of one of my sons, and by the grace of God, I was able to get him back. But so pretty much anything our ladies are going through, I've been through.
That's awesome. And the Turning Point program, that's the one that Judge Oldfield has at the court?
Correct.
Okay. And if I remember right, you're also a representative to that as well?
I am.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that's good that we have that representation there. And the experiences that you have, your life experiences, certainly can play a role in when our women say, hey, you know what, I don't think anybody knows what I'm going through. You can tell them you have.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. How did you kind of decide? So I know we had an opening for that position. How did you decide that was a role that you wanted to have?
Because the Moms program's always been important to me. When I was a client over at Touchstone, I got introduced to the Moms program. I did have my son there when he was like 6, 7, 8 months old, and I got introduced to Ronna Johnson. And even after I left Touchstone and I ended up relapsing, I felt comfortable and safe to reach back out to them, and I knew I just wasn't a billable service to them.
Sure.
I knew they cared about me, they wanted to help me be a better mom, and they wanted to see me succeed.
Awesome. Can you talk a little bit about just exactly what the Moms program is here at CHC and why it's important to our patients and to the community?
So the Moms program is for women, obviously with substance abuse, opioid, and stimulant. We mostly serve pregnant and postpartum women. We follow those women until their kids are 2 years old, but we have women that just don't leave. They just keep coming back.
It's okay.
And it's a grant-funded program, so we can help them with everything they need for a baby, from car seats to formula to clothing. I mean, anything they need for a baby, we help them get.
And I would imagine that includes diapers and things like that, because
Yes.
now with everything being so expensive, I would think the benefit to the supplies that you can provide for them is really essential for them.
Yes, they always get diapers and wipes. We can even help them with like gas cards, 30-day bus passes, which our ladies love. Like, we don't want them to dip into their own resources to participate in group or anything we have to offer.
Sure. And do we have a clothing closet somewhere where they can get clothing for themselves and for their babies?
Yes, we have a boutique, actually.
Oh, a boutique. Very nice. I like that.
So our case manager, Susan Curtis, put in so much heart and effort to... we get donations, and the ladies can go in there and they don't feel like they're digging through somebody else's used stuff. They feel worthy of being able to provide for their children, which I think is great.
That is. You talked a little bit about your personal kind of pathway. Can you talk a little bit about why the Moms program is personally and professionally important to you?
Personally, it's so important to me because even as a little girl, all I ever wanted to be was a mom. And when addiction and substance abuse came into my life and I ended up getting pregnant at 30, it was like too late to play catch up. I lost my mom at a very young age. I didn't have a lot of family support. So the Moms program was that support and the encouragement I needed to believe in myself and believe I could be sober and believe I could be a good mom. And even after I started working at CHC, because I actually only started working here because I was fighting to get my son back that I had lost custody of. And I was like, oh, this will make my sobriety look legit. Like it'll look valid. So I started working at CHC, and I was like, I'm only going to work here until I get my son back, and then I'm going to go back to the restaurant business. But here I am.
Still here.
Yeah,
Awesome.
because I fell in love with helping people, and I know my story is impactful.
Well, you've done a really wonderful job.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about, and you have a couple wonderful people that work with you.
I
Can you
do.
talk about them, please, and their roles in the program?
So Rana Johnson, who's been with the program since it started here at CHC, she's a nurse practitioner, but she's way more than that. She's worked in child welfare for, I think, longer than I've been alive, like maybe 47 years. She just cares about the ladies so much, and any barrier they have, whether it's to parenting skills, tangible items, she's there to help them, and I think it's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we have Susan Curtis, our case manager, which some people in our business, they'll be like, too good for some jobs, not Susan Curtis. If you need your house cleaned out, if you have a problem with hoarding, I mean, there's no job that Susan is not willing to do, and I think that's awesome.
So I know when I came over to the office around Christmas, Susan had the girls decorate the lobby of the office, and
Yes.
it just looked wonderful.
Yeah, she does a life skills group that's like, you ladies can have nice things even if you don't have money. She teaches them to make, like today I just left over there, they were making candles and
Oh, wow.
they were just having so much fun.
So it sounds like oftentimes you're not only helping them out with the supplies that they need, but also introducing them to things that they normally might not have an opportunity to do. Can you talk about some of those things?
Right, so we do these moms meetups that we really want the women to be able to connect with each other and, you know, maybe even hang out when they're not hanging out with us. So we took them to the zoo. This Friday we're going to the splash pad. We did the spring fling.
Yeah.
And I'd really like to start like when our ladies have, I'm partnering hopefully with this photographer where when our ladies have the baby, we're going to start doing newborn pictures for
that's
them.
Wonderful.
Because sometimes, you know, some of that special stuff they can't afford. So
Right.
we want to be able to provide those special memories for them.
And I wonder if maybe buying with the dollars and the grant some of those picture frames where they can load things on and they can get them out to relatives and things like that
Yeah.
wouldn't be a bad idea also.
Yeah.
I have one of those, so my daughter-in-law sends us pictures all the time of my
Oh, okay.
grandson. So it's pretty cool to get, you know, it says, hey, you have new pictures today. And it's really exciting as a grandfather to be able to hit that and see the next few pictures come through. So
I love
very cool.
that.
Yeah. Can you talk about some of the successes you've seen?
So it touched my heart. One of the first clients that I've worked with since being in this position, she said, Nikki, if it wasn't for you and your program, I wouldn't have been able to provide for my baby and I would have had to give my baby up. So she's made it like she's got extensive history with CSB, like throughout her whole pregnancy, she feared them coming to the hospital. They did do an investigation, but they didn't open a case, and I think they close it this Friday. And she's like, this is the first baby out of 6 that I've been able to keep, and it just gives me goosebumps.
That's reason
to be
to
able.
celebrate.
Yeah.
Can you talk some about what makes folks eligible for the Moms program? How do they access it, and what would be the referral process?
So you can access it by doing a walk-in intake at the 725 East Market location. You can reach out to me by email or my cell phone. And basically the only qualification is that you have to be pregnant or postpartum up to 12 months.
Okay.
So you do have to be a CHC client, but it could be as little as like individual counseling, and you can participate and be a mom's client.
So if there's moms out there watching this or listening to this, and they've struggled with opiate or stimulant use disorder, and they have children under the age of 2, and they really don't have any place else to turn, are they eligible for what we do if they became CHC patients?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So we just got our website up and running,
Uh-huh.
and I had my first young vulnerable lady reach out to me. So I know our website's very easy to access, or you can call my cell phone.
Sure. Well, and hopefully, as we found out when we did the one on adolescent addiction, we'll get some phone calls generated from this as well. Because I do think it's important that we get the message out there that here's a valuable resource in the community that's available for people to take advantage of.
And we're the only one in the county, so.
So I would imagine that from time to time, some of those moms have postpartum depression. So how do we link them to services for that?
So we have our own psychiatrist. I actually linked that same mom that I was just talking about to Dr. Gray.
Okay.
And Chiffon, she's amazing. She got her right in. I was like, she's struggling with postpartum. And she got the referral on Friday. She got her right in on Wednesday. And I was like, you better not miss your appointment.
Sure.
If you need help, Susan will come and get you, and we'll take you to your appointment.
So that, and I think that's important. And we as an organization, we as CHC have a pretty big breadth of services.
Yes.
Not only our addiction, our mental health, but also Touchstone for our women's residential program.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about maybe how those other resources within the organization? You just talked about Dr. Gray, our psychiatrist. Can you talk about maybe how Touchstone supports the program and just outpatient services then as folks leave?
So all these ladies coming to us, they're going to have different levels of care, right? Some are going to be at a residential, some are going to be at outpatient, and I just think we're so blessed here at CHC. Like, we have that beautiful residential facility. We've done a lot of like revamping over there, and it just looks great. So if a lady does need residential, they can take up to 2 kids with them over there if they're pregnant. We still work very closely with the moms clients that are in Touchdown. I think we have 3 over there right now.
Wow.
Yeah, one that's postpartum, one that's pregnant, at different stages. But we'll go over there, we'll take them to their OB appointments, we take them pregnancy pillows, whatever they need. And everybody over there is just so kind and helpful to all of our ladies. And then we have women's recovery, our outpatient, that's strictly just women, which I love because a lot of women have so much trauma with men.
Yeah.
So we have our IOP, and then we have so many amazing groups. We have Emily, our peer supporter over there. We just have a lot of great resources here at CHC.
And how important is it that there's childcare both at Women's Recovery Program
Right.
and Touchstone?
Yes, it's amazing. And even I just had 2 ladies actually give birth that they were like, they come to me, they're like, Nikki, my baby's father is in Raymar. Can I get visitation with him over there? And, we help them.
So Nikki, earlier you had talked about the moms meetups a little bit. So can you talk a little bit about kind of where that idea came from and how they've been beneficial to the patients?
So somebody who's...
And to staff, because it
Right.
sounds like they've been kind of fun.
They are definitely fun. So somebody who's in long-term recovery that's been through treatment episode after treatment episode, like, nobody wants to always just sit in group all day, sit in counseling. They want to get out there and do fun stuff with their kids and be real moms in the community. So we try to meet the clients where they're at. People get over groups. They get over, and the sun's shining. So we're like, let's get out in the community and do some fun stuff. And I see the women building relationships with each other and exchanging phone numbers and being like, oh, I have this appointment, I can watch your kid this day, or let's go do this together, or...
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And how nice that is for the kids to get some socialization also too.
Yes.
So very cool, very cool. Do you have some places where you're kind of, I know you talked about the zoo and the splash pad. Do you have some other places you're kind of planning on going?
So we wanted to take them to Founders Day this past weekend, but it didn't work out. But I'm hoping to get like some sound bath maybe for the moms, doing some stuff like that. Maybe some yoga for just the moms, and then go to the children's museum. You know, a lot of these meetups we do for fairly cheap, like the splash pad's free, the children's museum's free on Thursday,
Oh,
the
nice.
zoo was fairly cheap. So,
And I would think that, there's probably plenty of women in recovery that are doing yoga. Maybe somebody would be glad to, come in and do some yoga with them at some point. And,
yes.
and we can feed them.
Yes.
So, good. Very nice. Very, very nice. So the next generation of the moms program, your next kind of, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're going to get to do this, or as I think I've shared with people before, this holy crap, how'd they do that? I really like when we kind of think about what can we do that people wouldn't expect us to do? What can we do that will really give the moms and staff and the community that's watching something that says, wow, that is so cool? Do you have some ideas that kind of you think about to do?
So the case manager in me always thinks about housing, and housing is always such a huge barrier. Or even when they do get their own independent housing, they're not ready for that step. Like,
Right.
It's too much for them to take all of that on. So I just think supportive housing is huge. And also what I've seen in my short time in this role is when our ladies go to the OBs, they're not always kind. Like, the stigma around addiction isn't the best. Or
Right.
is bad.
Yeah.
But when you're pregnant and you're dealing with substance abuse, sometimes the OBs don't treat you very kind. They don't understand the stigma. Just because we're pregnant doesn't mean our brains are fixed automatically. So hopefully with our community health center, our primary care,
Yeah.
I would love to see women's health and an OB in there. I think that would be amazing, a very kind person to treat our ladies.
Well, and I think that for a couple of reasons. One, you and Susan and Rhonda have done such a great job of identifying needs.
Yeah.
And I think that as we move into this integrated behavioral health care system and have primary health care, it only makes sense that we offer OBGYN services.
Yes.
Given the fact that we have a women's recovery program, a specific building that does that, we have residential programming, we have a program specifically for moms and kids, it would only make sense that we would add that. The hope would be not only would we add that, but we'd add a pediatrician as well. Because again, sometimes moms aren't real comfortable taking their babies to a pediatrician when they've been through some of the things that they've been through also.
Right.
Because the worst thing in the world for somebody's recovery is to start being judged for who they were, not accepted for where they are today.
Yes.
And I'm just so excited with the work that you've been able to do here. I know when you and I first talked about this job, it was really important that we expanded not only access to the service, but we also let the whole agency know what the MOMS program was. And it really wasn't about brochures. It wasn't about anything other than building relationships and making sure that the moms felt comfortable coming in and receiving services and recognizing all of the wonderful things we have here at CHC for that. And I just want to share with you, and hopefully you'll pass this on to Rhonda and Susan. You guys have done just a remarkable job of doing this, and I couldn't be happier with where we are today with that. I think as we go through a holiday season, I know you had Easter Bunny also.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about the famous Easter Bunny and that. So you had pictures with the Easter Bunny.
We did, and it was so much fun. We actually partnered with the KISS program. She brought in a diaper bank, so she was giving out diapers to everybody that showed up. We had face painting. We had obviously an egg hunt. It was a really good time.
Well, and now we have other stuff coming up, other holidays and that
Yeah.
coming up. So that'll be wonderful.
Even my coworkers were bringing their kids
Really?
to the spring fling. They were coming. We had food. We had pizza. It was a really
That
good
was just
time.
to see the giant Easter bunny.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share about kind of Mom's program, or about your personal journey or anything else that's going on with the folks?
I just am so blessed to have this position. I think we're so blessed here at CHC with all the services we have, and I'm just really excited for the program in the future. It's just such an honor to be here.
Cool. Well, we're glad to have you. Can you share one last time how people can get a hold of you or get a hold of the program?
So they can do a walk-in intake at 725, or they can reach out to me on my cell phone. The number is 330-203-6287.
Okay. Very cool. So again, CHC on East Market, easy to walk in, have an assessment. Mom's program is right across the street from there, so easy connection for people when they want to get those services.
Or our website. Our
Yeah.
website's up.
Yeah, website. This video will be on or podcast will be on social media. Our production supervisor, London, will make sure that we get this out there. So I want to thank you for joining us today. This has just been really a pleasure to spend some time with Nikki from CHC's Moms program. She's been the coordinator for less than a year, and she has just done some tremendous things with what we're doing. So really, really happy to be able to do this, and to thank her and Rana and Susan for the work that they're doing, and for the whole agency who's just responded greatly. So this has been CHC Connections, episode 2. Thank you, London, for doing this with us, and we look forward to whatever we have coming next. Thank you.